So Amazon does what's called Amazon Fresh, which for the most part is basically a supermarket that delivers the goods to you, and they have lots and lots of supermarket related items like all this fresh food, and of course that's all on the back of Amazon's move into grocery stores through the acquisition of Whole Foods and things like that. So that's one element of Amazon's food related sales, which is fresh. The other element, of course, is something which you would probably be much more familiar with, which is groceries. Groceries and gourmet food. So this is, whereas fresh food is, as it says, it's your fruit, it's your veggies, it's your meat, it's your fish. Groceries and gourmet food tends to be things that's just pre-packaged and ready to go, and it's much easier to be shipped through FBA because it doesn't have that same shelf life. And that's really the big differentiator between the two. The way it gets delivered to you is the big differentiator. Fresh has its own refrigerated vans, which you see in various places around, whereas grocery and gourmet foods, they don't need that refrigeration for the most part, and so you're able to use a traditional FBA strategies to get them to you. So there's two different things, okay? Let's talk about each individually. Actually, let's not do that, but let's instead talk about grocery and gourmet food, because I think, based on what you've said, that's what you're interested in. So the way that I look at it is two different strategies. So when I'm thinking to myself, what is Amazon going to do next? All right, so Amazon is a very, very big company, and they have got a very definite playbook about the way that they launch products and product offerings into new countries, new territories, or as they would call them, marketplaces. So they've got a very distinct playbook about the way that they roll out these additional things, okay? And so it's wise to look at past marketplaces and to see what's happened in those past marketplaces, because that can be a good indicator. So it can be indicative of what they will do going forward. So if we look at groceries, for instance, well, grocery is currently available in lots and lots of different marketplaces, US, UK, Canada, India, which is going to be massive, Germany, Japan. All of those different marketplaces have got that available to them, and they're also launching elements of fresh into those marketplaces as well. And what is the traditional thing that they have done in the past within those marketplaces is they launch Prime, so Amazon Prime, which we know is launching here in Australia. So they launch Prime, and then between 6 and 12 months later, depending on the marketplace, then they launch grocery, gourmet, etc. into those particular marketplaces. So that's their playbook. That's what they've done in the past. Now that would suggest to us that towards the end of this year, so perhaps the fourth quarter of this year, will be when they launch in Australia. However, there's an extra little bit to that. That's that time lag between Prime launching and then grocery launching is getting shorter. So for instance, when they launched in Japan, which I think was April 2017, that had been 12 months until they launched the groceries on the back of that. But in Germany, it was faster. So it's that time lag is getting shorter. So it could be that Amazon will launch that particular category in maybe the third quarter based on the trend that's happening right now on Amazon in other marketplaces. So is that to consider? Second thing I go look at, and you should do this as a matter of course because it's a really cool thing to do. Where are we? Let's go here. Come to Amazon Jobs. I'm going to give you the link for this so everybody's got it, sent to all. And if you ever want to find out what Amazon is doing, it is a brilliant thing to do to look at what jobs they're currently recruiting for, because clearly internally they know what's going on and they've got to put the right infrastructure in place, the right people in place to facilitate those rollouts. So if we go to Asia Pacific, which is where we are, And if we go to, let's go to Sydney, 143 jobs currently available in Sydney. And then in Sydney, so you've got all the different job categories. So operations, IT support, solutions architect, that tends to be for AWS, tends to be for those. But if we go to sales, advertising, and account management, then that gives us a better understanding of what they're actually launching. So I come here and look all the time about what they're actually launching into these marketplaces. So business development is a good thing to look at because they start to train the staff commensurate with that. So we've got business development in fashion, which if we clicked on that would no doubt tell us they're looking for people to onboard fashion brands onto Amazon, which tells us they're making a push into fashion on Amazon. An investigation specialist, let's have a quick look at that, as immediate opening for FBA supply chain operations specialists. So this is all about the rollout of FBA into other marketplaces. We know that they're looking for this person in Sydney, which tells us, of course, FBA is opening in Sydney. So that's kind of how it works. So I look at those as different data points and then kind of glean ideas from that. When is it going to open? I don't know for sure. I think we ought to be looking at the third or perhaps fourth quarter at the latest, though, as a good timeline for that to happen. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.